Welcome back to The Perspective. Ambassador Berthonnet, in light of what is happening at the moment, political situation in Europe, Brexit, how it's impacting each of the countries in at least in the next 2 years, we will see this happening. How is France's economy doing at the moment?
Well, I think we are doing not so bad. Of course, we cannot compare our growth rate with the 5% growth of Indonesia, but you are an emerging country, so it's a bit different. But I think the government has launched, just like President Jokowi, by the way, a vast program of reforms, internal reforms to make the labor market more flexible, to improve the competitiveness of our companies, and it starts paying dividends, and we saw a slight improvement of the growth rate in France. Unemployment receding a little, so I think there are good prospects to see a further improvement of the economic situation in France, and in order to keep France attractive, including to foreign investors.
Yeah, and there's a lot of positive outlook for 2016, 2017, according to most major forecasts.
Absolutely,
correct?
Absolutely.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the current reforms that is being done by the government to achieve this targets?
Well, for instance, I would mention the fact that shops are allowed to be open during longer working hours, including on Saturdays and Sundays. Also, the possibility to hire and get rid of the part of the staff has been increased, and also the pressure, the tax pressure on the companies has been lowered.
There's a reduction of tax
in order to improve their competitiveness. So there is a whole spectrum of reforms being implemented now, and we do hope that they will produce results in short and longer term.
And the labor cost in France is among the lowest in the European countries, and then office rent is also, I understand, is among the lowest. And see, these are also factors in
absolutely, yes. Of course, all EU member states trying to compete with each other.
Yeah.
But I think that France, for instance, the working hours are not so low as some kind of people talk about. In the medias, in fact, we do work long hours, and longer than the Germans, for instance. And this is a part of our French competitiveness.
Now, what in your views of speaking of reforms, President Jokowi, since he took office in 2014, he's embarked on several economic reforms through his economic packages. And how do you think is the businesses, maybe let's talk specifically on France business, respond to these reforms and moves by President Jokowi?
Well, I think that President Jokowi has launched on his side also a very interesting package of reforms under the catchword of deregulation, I would say, in order to improve Indonesia's attractivity to domestic investors, but also to foreign investors. And I think it is starting to work. And the liberalization is very important to be more flexible in terms of market access to the market. And I think this is also paying dividends to some extent. I know that you would like to go a bit further than the 5% growth, which is impressive in the eyes of the Europeans, but maybe it's still too low for the potential that Indonesia have. And I'm quite confident that the reforms launched by President Jokowi will pay off, and this growth rate can be increased this year and maybe the following year as well.
In the next coming years. And what would you think is the most attractive, where is the most attractive sector of Indonesia in terms of investment from France? What is in the sector that Indonesia is very strong at the moment, and which sector do you think Indonesia needs a little bit of boost from its foreign partners?
I would say that there is potential on almost every sector. You know, I mentioned the infrastructure, transport, energy is very important, and the renewables. I think there is a room of improvement as far as the energy mix is concerned in Indonesia.
Is there a significant number of energy being invested from France to Indonesia at the moment?
There are potentials, and we count very much on the President Hollande's visit to finalize some of the projects especially in the renewables, in solar energy, in marine turbines field, in geothermy. So there are several projects on the table which could help Indonesia fulfill his commitments under the Paris Climate Agreement to increase the share of the renewables in Indonesia's energy mix. So I think it's the interest of both sides to see these projects finalized and being implemented as soon as possible.
And Indonesia, I see a lot of businesses, not just, I'd like your view on this, is that one of the challenges that Indonesia has is being an large archipelago country, and
a big market, 250 million inhabitants.
And mobility and access and getting from one place to the other, that's what's
yes, we are very well aware of the priority of President Jokowi, the so-called maritime fulcrum. And maybe we will speak about that later, but I think that will be one of the main themes of the discussion between the two presidents during President Hollande's visit at the end of March.
Now, just a little bit on, you mentioned about Indonesia's very potential market, 250 million, but this market in this region is about to grow to 600 million, not about, but it is currently under the ASEAN economic community. And what's France's footing in that, trying to tap on that large market with the fourth largest economy in the world in 2019? Do you have a perspective on that?
You mean seeing the broader perspective from the Asian perspective?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think it's, as I mentioned, for the EU, Indonesia is a potential jumping board also to access the other Asian economies. And I think our companies are being more and more aware of that potential, and that's why they are considering Jakarta and Indonesia as a whole as an interesting place to invest. Yes, indeed.
To gain a stronger footing in the
broader Asian perspective.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I will talk more about the visit of President Francois Hollande that is going to take place on March 29th when we come back after the short break.